You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Gene.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Under the Dome After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Under the Dome After Show.
Hello, 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 and welcome to your favorite after show for your favorite show, Under the Dome, episode 7, Going Home. So we're playing a song about home.
Yes.
I am your host, Jacque Borowski, and with me is Amanda, and I now forget your new married name.
My new name is Amanda Bennett.
Amanda Bennett.
I was Amanda Fields, now I'm Amanda Bennett.
And I did not want to say Amanda Fields because
I
can.
can.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I get confused easily.
I will go by either one.
It's just us today. No more of the full crew, but we plan to rock it out between just the two of us.
Yes, and they should be back next week.
Yes, they should be back next week.
Yes.
We're holding them to that.
We're holding down the fort.
Yes. And I'd like to this episode was what I wanted to happen all season.
Forever.
Yes. I wanted things to happen all season. Things that weren't just episode of the week problems. Things that...
Storms.
Yeah. Things that brought into mind
Rain.
larger questions. And because of that, I felt like the characters were kind of all over the place because they were each delving into their own specific
They were getting a
issues.
little stir crazy, I thought.
They were, for sure. The first person I want to talk about is Big Jim, because I felt like Big Jim moved so much in this episode, he almost time traveled. He was all over this episode. I was writing my list. We usually, here's an insight for AfterBuzz TV. Matt usually writes topics on the board, and I didn't because Matt's not here and I'm lame. But we usually write topics on the board, and Matt's topics are grouped by people.
Hold on, you're not lame. Just wanted to say that.
Thank
Anyway,
you.
They're grouped by people.
Thanks. They're grouped. Matt's topics are usually grouped by people, and then sometimes ideas. When I was writing down the topics, I was going through the episode as I was trying to group the topics, and I was like, Big Jim. Big Jim. I was like, oh, Big Jim's just in everything. And then I couldn't group the people together because the people were moving from scene to scene, which is great because we get all this major character development that's not just like, kids are here. Julia and Barbee are over here. People are doing things. We see them interact, which is great because we want to see character development.
Yes.
So, Big Jim, we start off the episode with, Barbee and Julia in bed. And
so it's a new day under the dome.
It's a new day under the dome.
Yes.
We find out later in the episode that there have been 17 days under the dome.
And they do refer to 3 weeks in this episode.
Yes.
Which is good. But they need to update the intro. They
do need to update the intro. Now there have been 3 weeks under the dome. So Barbee and Julia, they have a bed conversation, and then they move on to go tell Junior that Sam is responsible for Angie's death, and
Barbee backs that up by saying, "I saw the scratches. I saw where Angie tried to fight him."
Exactly. And so then Junior has this, I would say, heart to heart, except for Big Jim doesn't seem to have much of a heart until the end of the episode when he suddenly does. But they have they have a talk in which Big Jim calls Sam crazy, which is interesting later on because Pauline has also been pegged as crazy. And I would wager to believe that in season 1, people thought that Junior was crazy as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, as far as Big Jim's scale of like what is crazy, who is crazy, where, I'm not really sure where he gets that scale of information. I'm not really sure how he's measuring that.
Well, he's the craziest of them all. I mean,
he's
basically
Dumb
a
Jesus.
serial killer. So his definition of what's crazy and what's not crazy, I don't know if I buy it.
Well, he used to be a serial killer, but now he's Dome Jesus.
He's redeemed by the dome.
He's redeemed by the dome, the magic of the dome.
Or so he thinks. Who knows what he's capable of? I still don't trust Big Jim.
I don't think we should. No. I don't think we should.
So Julia and Rebecca Prince. That's her name, right?
Rebecca Pine.
Okay,
yes.
I want to call her
Pine,
Rebecca
like
Prince.
Pine Fresh, Pine Sol.
I don't know why, so forgive me. Rebecca Pine. They were down under the locker in the tunnel.
With Barbee.
With Barbee. Trying to figure out what is down here in this pit of despair, this nothingness.
Well, they're trying to figure out because Barbee decides... I'm also not sure where the motivation for this reasoning comes in. Barbee's like, I'm going to throw myself down a bottomless pit to try and find the body of the guy who killed Angie so that I can have it as proof. And I understand wanting proof for a crime, but at the same time, you're like, would you really want to risk your life for that? And I mean, I know they have him set up, like he goes into the sheriff's office to get all the carabiner and like to get the
climbing
stuff.
Okay, I'm like
the carabiner is like that little thing that you clip on when you're climbing to.
I don't have any climbing knowledge. All right.
I have vague climbing knowledge from a ropes course when I was a camp counselor.
Whoa.
Yes. This is going.
Hidden talents.
This is knowledge going back. I worked at a camp that had a ropes course, and
this is a good camp.
I used to have to know this knowledge. But
okay. So he apparently knows how to do all this. He seems like an expert going
He knows how to do, I would say he knows how to do pretty much anything athletic. I mean, I guess that they've kind of pegged Barbee as the guy who can do anything athletic.
Yeah, and apparently there's all this stuff that he can do that we don't know about until the occasion arises, and he conveniently knows how to do all this stuff. We're like,
he's got
okay,
skills.
Barbee. We know he was in the military. So he had to learn a lot of these basic skills just
and
to
now
survive.
We know he's rich, so maybe he went to like a prep school and he learned a lot of other skills from the prep school. Like maybe he went to a ropes course at his prep school camp. So he knows how to mountain climb, or at least belay, or I'm not sure if that's the correct term anymore, but belay, kind of like relay yourself down into a hole, which she's going down there to try and find Sam. And because Sam didn't make a plunk, I would, if I was Barbee, I would use my better judgment as, I mean, Barbee's judgment is questionable because sometimes he's got this great, like, reflex, spot-on, wonderful judgment, and then sometimes he has the, hey, I killed this woman's wife, this woman's husband, but now I'm going to date her judgment. This was one of his not...
It's like his brain versus his heart.
Right. This was one of his not as good moments where he decides after Junior feeling all in disbelief that Sam killed Angie, that he's going to prove it. And I guess, like, on a greater level, he could probably prove it to the town as well, but I'm not sure the town really cares. The town's just probably ecstatic to not have Sam or Lyle there.
Yeah. I mean, they were never on their sides, either one of them.
Yeah. I don't think the town is like, we're missing the two town crazies. Let us mourn. Let us throw our favorite person down a hole to go after the town crazies.
Meanwhile, Big Jim, you know, he thinks he needs to have this, like, memorial. Oh, that's later.
Yes.
Sorry.
That is the end of the episode.
I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm sorry.
That's okay. So Barbee,
I stopped myself.
Barbee after 20 feet, the rope starts to loosen itself, and
he feels like he's getting pulled down.
Yes, Rebecca and Julia can't hold on to it. Julia drives forward to try and grab Barbee, and Rebecca grabs after her, and Rebecca says she can't hold on, so Barbee...
I can't hold on!
So Barbee just cuts the rope and then falls down the hole, and in one of my favorite acting moments on the show, Julia screams. I have to say...
I was actually crying.
Yeah, I have to say, I was a big fan of the Julia Barbee romance from the beginning, and I understand that they have to separate them because... Like most shows, when you have they're the two main romantic leads, and when you have them together for too long, this is why they tried to have them infighting in the beginning, I think. You have them together for too long without conflict, and people get bored. So here, you split them up, and you have this new obstacle for our lovers to try and get back together.
Well, I mean, in Julia's mind, Barbie's dead.
It's true. It's true. Julia, and what is great is... I actually, and now I forget her name. I actually really love this actress. She was on She was the only good thing about Twilight, I think.
Oh, yes. Rochelle Lefevre.
Yes. Rachel, or is it Rochelle or Rachel?
I think it's Rochelle.
Either way.
I might not be saying it right, but I love her too. She was Victoria in Twilight.
She was very good. She was probably one of the only good actors in Twilight.
And then they replaced her with Ron Howard's daughter.
Yes, we know how that worked.
She should have never been replaced, but at least she's Julia in Under the Dome, and she cannot be replaced in my heart.
I feel that they weren't giving her enough stuff in the sense that she's just kind of wandering around the town being all mopey and monarchy, and finally she gets
mopey and monarchy.
Yes, mopey and monarchy, and finally she gets to have some real emotion. She screams out because Barbee has fallen down the hole, and then she, unlike some of the other acting choices I've seen, she remains mournful. Honest, like an honest acting experience. You see her throughout the whole episode. She's mournful until she gets that glimmer of hope that maybe Barbee is still alive.
This is her Emmy nomination episode, I think.
This is her Emmy nomination episode.
I want this show to win awards. I mean, have the nominations already come out? I'm getting off the topic, and I apologize. I'm going to have to look into this myself later because I think the Emmys are in a couple weeks.
Yes, they are. You know who will not win an award is, what's his face, who plays Lyle? Dwight Yoakam. No. Dwight Yoakam will not be winning an award, unfortunately.
I mean, yes, he is in this episode, and there are some acting gems from him.
He is my favorite acting gem. He is a beautiful, shining turd on this show.
Actually, you know who has shown, like the most improved award for acting goes to Joe.
Joe, yes.
He has gotten a lot better.
He is trying.
Yes.
And I think that Nori is always one of my favorites because she always gets the snarky lines.
Yeah, she's got the attitude.
So we have them Julia thinks on her feet, and she comes out with Rebecca of the locker room hole, and Big Jim shows up again.
Locker room hole?
Big Jim's all over town, so Big Jim shows up again at the school, wondering what's going on. I feel like Big Jim's job is just to putter around and wonder what's going on. Like he shows up, he's
like
shows
the
up,
crazy old crone in town. And he's like, so ladies, what's happening here?
Big Jim's like this landlord that I used to have who used to, like, every time you were coming or going or leaving or had friends or whatever, he would like stop you for 20 minutes and ask you all about it. And you're just like, dude, you're everywhere. Stop
it. And just after Julia had spoken to Rebecca about what just went down in that hole, she was like, I can't, please don't tell Big Jim about this. I don't want him to know that Barbee's gone.
Exactly.
All hell will break loose if he thinks he's, more superior now because Barbee is in a hole.
Yeah, she's afraid of the power shift that's going to happen.
So right after they talk about it and they wipe their tears, Big Jim's like, so what's going on? Like, right away. And they have to, like, control. She's like, no, it's the dust. It's the dust. I'm sorry. I'm not crying.
They both have that, what I like to call a Full House moment where the parents in Full House come in and they catch the kids doing something crazy and the kids are like, no, what you talking about? But you just know you've caught them red-handed. And so Big Jim,
love Full House.
I know, that's kind of what it reminded me of.
Yes, okay.
So Big Jim caught DJ and Stephanie in their moment of doing something bad, and he knew something was up, but they managed to cover it over. And they meet up with the teenagers, and they decide that they are going to build a robot because Joe magically knows how to build robots.
President of the robot club at school.
I feel like there's a lot of clubs at this school.
Yeah. Science club, robot club,
club. I feel like there was a windmill making club, even though she said that she was making it for class. I feel like there was. There's a lot of clubs. Chester's Mill is a small town.
They need a lot of activities after school.
Exactly.
If you're not athletically inclined.
Exactly.
Like Joe.
Joe. Joe, our resident tech nerd.
Yes.
He decides to build a robot out of what are these? The Windows
Surface
tablets. Yes. Although it was weird that they didn't kind of show the Surface tablet in such a way that you knew it was a Surface tablet. Maybe they've assumed we already know by now.
Because
but
it was already in the show a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I was a little sad that there was no more product plugging. I was kind of expecting that.
Well, they definitely showed the home screen with the little Windows logo.
That is true. So they send the robot down the hole, and again at the 20 feet mark.
You say that like it's nonchalant. They send the robot down the hole.
It feels very.
It's like, a big deal because they, you know, somehow Joe got this remote control to work. And by the way, did you notice how they're all coupled up now? Of course, Joe and Nori have been there all along.
Right.
And of course,
and they're back together being schmoopy after their big fight.
They wake up on the couch together.
I know.
Oh, and Melanie and Junior are officially a thing. She wakes up on his shoulder.
I don't know if officially, but I know they're moving. I believe they're moving into officially.
I would be willing to say official under the dome. I mean,
yes, official as far as Under the Dome is concerned. And I think it's interesting because I can see that the writers don't want to move the characters too fast because Angie just died and Junior was being upset about it earlier in the episode. But you can see that's where they're going because they've set up the pairing of the four hands again.
Yeah, exactly. She
will
never replace Angie, but she is working her way.
And she clearly has a type. She has a type. She has
crazy brunette guys.
She likes Verdreau guys who are crazy brunettes.
Tall, dark, and crazy.
Tall, dark, and crazy. That's her type.
Her type. Everyone. So, yeah. All right. Junior had some moments, too, today that were kind of like his first season with the big head.
I love Junior.
I do, too.
I want good things for him.
And he wants to seek revenge for Angie's death. So he's trying to figure it all out. So he gets real worked up when he figures it out that it's not Lyle and it was Sam all along. Mm-hmm. And he was down there under the locker, under the dome with Angie's killer, and he didn't even know.
Yes.
So anyway, they're down under the dome, under the ground, in the locker hole. The robot's going down into the nothingness, and they don't see anything, and they're like, it's just rock. And Rebecca's like, is there anything on the rock?
Rebecca kills me because I was trying to remember what she was saying. Hold on, let me see what she was saying as it was going down. Oh yeah, describe the rock face. I was like, listen, you are annoying, science lady.
Yeah, like the rock face.
There's no just you either look at the screen because it's a big screen and you can see it over to the side, you know, or you stop talking and making these kids all nervous. You've got people yelling at Joe when it hits the 20 mark and it starts shaking, telling him he doesn't know what he's doing. And then you have this supposedly teacher who's like, describe the rock face, do this. I was like, geez, lady.
But she also doesn't know what to do. She probably feels kind of helpless, so.
Yeah, I think
she's on edge. Rebecca Pine is on edge.
Right. And I like that he's barely like down into the hole and she's basically asking all these questions. It's like, lady, he's probably gone like 3 feet in, and you are haranguing him.
Haranguing.
Yes,
Ooh.
This is what Rebecca Pine does.
So they catch.
Oh, and I wrote. I'm looking at my notes right now. Every once in a while, I look back at my notes and chuckle. I don't know if you'll find them funny, but I wrote, "Your laser pointer sucks, Rebecca." She has this like cat toy laser pointer and she's like, I can't see anything with my laser pointer because it's so tiny. Like, it's not like you brought in some big high beam flashlight. You have a laser pointer and you expect it to go down to the bottom of a hole that people have fallen down with big equipment.
With no sound at the bottom.
Yeah, I'm like, your laser pointer sucks and it's not worth anything. So she basically brought nothing to this group of people. And as the robot hits 20 feet, it shakes, and
they see some kind of flash on the screen.
They see some kind of flash on the screen,
and then like, oh, it's nothing.
And then they have to bring it back up because they're afraid to lose the robot.
And Joe's like, wait, there is something if you go frame by frame by frame. And they find the playground.
Yes, they see the playground that Barbee ended up in.
And Sam, earlier, we assume, landed in the same place.
Yes, so let's move on to Zenith.
Zenith!
We actually get to see Zenith in this episode. I was very happy. It was like a kind of like Alice in Wonderland moment where...
It was like watching someone get out of prison.
Yes.
And just walk free. I was like... How do they just walk down the street
I felt
now?
like breathing. I was like, I can finally breathe. I'm out of the dome. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I've been so engrossed in this that I myself have believed that I am now finally breathing because I have been stuck under the dome.
Wow, Jackie.
Yes.
that might be a condition you might want to see someone
Yes,
about.
that's how dirty I was feeling with them stuck under the dome. I was like, nobody can shower anymore. There's a water shortage. Please.
So, you know, Barbee gets some looks walking down the street.
Well, he looks like a dirt ball who was beaten up. So, yes.
He deserved those looks, I guess. Under the dome, not so much. Not too many looks.
No. Well, they're used to seeing his gorgeous face everywhere. Plus, yeah, it's not normal for you to walk around in what looks like a nice town looking like a gross dirt ball. And he had also been passed out earlier in the middle of a park, and I was amazed that nobody around was like screaming or like, what?
Or their kids were like, Mommy!
Yeah, he was just like passed out in the middle of the park. And I also thought that was an interesting choice because I, in my mind, had assumed that the bottom of the hole was like, the hole went down really deep, and then the person eventually touched ground, but we just couldn't hear it, and then walked out. But literally, this is like true sci-fi stuff.
Actually, it happened the way I imagined it.
Oh, really?
I knew that Sam, I had a feeling Sam wasn't dead, but I thought, I don't know what's going to happen. I didn't know how it was going to unfold, but I knew it would be they just show up somewhere else. Maybe I read too many science fiction books.
Oh, but that's awesome.
Okay, side note, I have been reading this series called The Secrets of the Immortal Nicholas Flamel, the alchemist, the magician, the sorceress, and they have these things called legates, where they stand on it and there's like a spell and they appear somewhere else.
Oh, it's like the Harry Potter Flu Network.
Yes. Yes. Very similar. So
the port keys.
Maybe that's why I was like, of course they just show up in Zenith.
I loved it. For me,
so
it was...
you like Under the Dome, maybe you'll like these other books. I've only read the first 3 out of 6, so don't spoil it for me.
But now I want to read them. That sounds very interesting.
Yes. So,
we'll have to talk after.
Yes.
So we find out, this is, for me, again, so excited because this is a true sci-fi moment. Like, we've kind of lost that, and that's what I was missing. The first season had a lot more sci-fi moments. The first episode had that kind of, like, magnety sci-fi moment with all the things sticking to the dome. And beyond that, we haven't really had that this season.
So this is really exciting for both of us.
Yes, this was really exciting.
We're on the edges of our seats.
Exactly. And we find out that, so Sam's in the town, Lyle's in the town, and Pauline actually lives in a mental institution.
However, I don't think she's actually crazy. She's teaching other people that are in the institution art.
I feel like
art class. So is she in the institution or is she teaching there?
I feel like she's in the institution, because they said that he knew to go there, and my guess is he knew that maybe she had been there for years. Like I feel like she is a patient there because of past references to her being crazy because of her excessive painting, and we know from last season.
Big Jim was saying, she was starting to go crazy, and she wanted, or he
because
wanted
of her
to
predictions.
Yes,
yeah.
He wanted her to be locked up, and she convinced him not to lock her up, and he always thought, well, maybe I could have saved her.
Right.
So
she is in the locked ward of the psychiatric hospital. And what's interesting is, like, she's clearly not portrayed as crazy. We just know that she's there because either she self-admitted herself there because of all the visions she was having were making her nervous, or because people thought she was crazy because of those visions. And she is teaching painting to a group of people, and she kind of has a heart-to-heart with Sam, and then brings Sam to see Lyle, who is saying Melanie over and over again. Now, here's my problem.
Melanie.
She drew Melanie in her diary. She drew Melanie in her diary, so Melanie had to be part of her prediction. And she's like, I don't know.
She's surprised.
Is Melanie still here? She's surprised. So
when Sam tells her that she came back.
Yeah, I'm like, do you not understand your own predictions? Like, is that how this works? Do you just draw
the pictures and it's like no part of you? Like maybe she draws it without even being conscious of what she's drawing.
Right, but somehow Lyle and Sam, who seem significantly crazier than Pauline, seem to be able to interpret these drawings. I'm like, oh, no. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe their significant craziness means that they have some kind of special brain power, which that would make me sad because Lyle is so crazy, and not in that like charming of like Pauline sort of way where you're like, you have all these special powers, and I think of Junior as a charming kind of crazy, but like Lyle's just like, I will probably axe murder you and my hair is everywhere crazy. It's not a cute look.
No. He did tie up Rebecca Pine.
He did tie her up, and yes,
the blood rain
pouring
on her back.
blood rain on her.
Oh, Lyle.
He is not a nice guy.
No.
He's not.
So he keeps, like, when people come to Lyle and he's in a wheelchair for some reason.
Yes.
I was thinking that maybe he went really crazy off his rocker, because do you think that if you go down that tunnel, the locker of doom, and you jump off into the abyss and you know what happens, do you then go crazy? Because Sam and Barbee did not know. They thought they were dying.
Well, I don't know.
Or
See,
did Sam know?
I want to believe that Sam knew, because it would be such a weird 180 turnaround for Sam to have one moment where he's like, oh, we got to save everybody under the dome by killing all these people. It seems so futile that then he's like, oh, I'm just going to kill myself and throw myself down a hole. It seems to me like Sam is much more calculated than that, I think.
Yes. What's going on with Sam? What does he know?
I know. And that's how I feel like this whole season is. What does Sam know?
And what does Big Jim know? I feel like there's something that he knows that we don't.
I feel like Big Jim is just the shuffling town, like Pokemon.
He's like the pawn in the chess game of life, and he keeps getting... No.
I feel like he's the nosy neighbor in the chess game of life. Not that chess has a character that is a nosy neighbor. I don't know. Maybe that would be the bishop? I have no idea. The bishop. Now I'm just making stuff up.
Okay. So, speaking of this tunnel.
Right.
How did it get there? Because Joe reveals that it has
never been
always been there.
And it doesn't connect up to the cement factory where people had the fighting in the last season.
The cage fighting?
The cage fighting. It doesn't connect to cage fighting cement factory.
No. And apparently the
basement... Or bomb shelter cement factory. It has many purposes.
When Joe started saying the basement in the school has always been just a basement until 3 weeks ago. And I'm like, but did you yourself go look in that locker ever? I was like, maybe that's a different route than the basement. I don't know. But I'm just going to go with it and believe what Joe is saying.
Yes. I mean... There is the element of, Joe, you have never opened up every locker and seen if there was a portal inside the locker, but because we assume that this basement connects up with other, like, strands of basement under the school, and that wasn't on the map, so I'm assuming that means it did not exist.
I'm just going to go with what Joe's saying, that the information he's giving us is needed for the show to move along.
Yes.
So I'm going to believe that that's true, that it wasn't there 3 weeks ago. And so did the dome create this itself? Maybe when it landed or something?
This is part of the dome mystery. It's part of the dome mystery that we have to find out. Oh, Dome, you Dome.
Tell us more.
So Barbee, after he wakes up, he goes back to his loft. It looks like he lives in a loft.
Yeah, and it's really nice.
Yeah, and he goes to get, like, money and guns.
Behind a picture.
Yes.
A painting.
Yes. He hides money and guns in his loft. And then...
In his art.
And then his friend/thugs.
Tying it together with the artwork, the predictions, and then there's art, and he gets the stuff. Okay, I'm sorry. I just realized that right now.
It's true. There is an art theme here. Yes. I think... I know that CBS.com used to sell posters of the... Junior Pink Stars Falling in Line painting drawn by Pauline. Yeah, it did, because I tried to convince Matt Lieberman to buy one. He did not. I should have just bought it for him.
Oh, yeah. Are they sold out now?
I don't know. I haven't checked lately.
We have to go check.
This was last season.
Okay.
But I mean, maybe they have other artwork.
So who are these people that come in, barge in, to Barbee's loft? And have they been like watching it the whole time on surveillance? How do they know that he just got there?
Yeah, that is weird to me that they just know he just got there. But since they are thugs, I have a feeling they're connected to this like drug money situation that Barbee was involved in.
Is there a Zenith mafia?
Yeah, I feel like so apparently there is a small-time Zenith mafia, and Barbee was connected to them.
However, right before they barged in, they showed a picture of Barbee with 3 other men that were in the army with them.
Maybe
So it made me think that it was the same people.
Well, maybe these guys were. I'm figuring out the story as I go along. I'm making it up as I go along.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I had totally forgotten about that picture. And now that I think about it, maybe it's that these guys were his military buddies. But after they got out of the military, they decided to work as like hired brutes, basically, because that's basically what Barbee was. Like, he was hired to kill Julia's husband.
That's right.
So, I feel they want Barbee to finish some job.
Yeah, and they were like, "Where have you been?" And the way he responded, of course they're not going to believe him. He's like, "Would you believe me if I said I was stuck under the dome?" It's like, why don't you say it a different way? Like, "Guys, I've been under the dome." Instead of, "Would you believe me?" So I thought he was,
I think it's because he knew that they weren't going to believe him. But anyway, so
that's what my husband said.
Yeah.
I can say husband now. Okay, anyway.
So Barbee takes him to this house, and
the president of, what is it, Acteon?
I don't know, some company.
I don't know how, I missed the name.
So Barbee mimes
Acteon Energy Company. And do they have something to do with the dome coming down, perhaps? Energy company, dome, is it interlinked?
Maybe we'll see if it's linked. So then Barbee brings this guy to the house. He sets off the alarm. He beats up the guy. The cops come. And then the cops realize, as Barbee's dad comes out, that Barbee's dad owns the house. So Barbee goes in and has a heart-to-heart talk about his
Barbie's
past.
dad.
And he has a heart-to-heart talk about his past. He has a heart-to-heart talk about what happened with his mom and how his mom wanted him to quit the army.
And we realize his mom's no longer with us.
Yes.
I did not know that all along. Is that new information?
I feel like all of this is new. I feel like we knew nothing about Barbee.
Yeah. He was a mystery.
Yeah, so we're finally given some background on Barbee, and we know that he was a wealthy person who decided to join the military. And he asked his dad, who his dad is in some sort of political position, because he's got friends in D.C., in some sort of political position to be able to help him get near the dome.
Barbee gets out of the dome and wants to go straight back to it because
he misses Julia.
And his dad figured it out. He's like, there's only one reason that you could have become such a different guy than when you got back from Iraq. Was it Iraq? I feel like that's what he said. Because that whole war has like left him a little bit.
Yeah.
And he's softened and he has become a little bit more genuine.
Right.
And of course he's in love with Julia. And he admits it to his dad. Yes, Dad, I'm in love.
I like how his dad is played in the sense that, like, Barbee is going through all this inner conflict where he's like, I have things to do, I want to get near the dome, and the dad's like, that's not a good idea, and then blah, blah, and then, like, 2 seconds later, his dad is like, just kidding, because I believe in the power of love, I will help you, which is nice to see, but...
And I like that he says, I know what it's like to be apart.
Yes. So we'll see if he gets near the bombed out part of the dome from last year, or if he gets near the non-bombed out part of the dome.
And maybe I'm skipping too far ahead, but I don't want to forget to talk about it. In Pauline's classroom where she's teaching art, the camera moves to this painting of a red door ajar.
Yes. So I took that to mean the locker is open, or the passageway is open now that was inside the locker.
But then Barbee and his dad walk through the woods, and the camera lands on this door that is parallel with just the forest floor. And it's a red door with a yellow hand on it.
See, okay, this is the problem with the filming things in the dark for someone like me who can't see well.
Oh, you didn't notice it?
I noticed there was a hand on the floor, but I thought this was some kind, like, I didn't notice that it was a door. I thought it was a crater.
No!
See,
it was a red door.
Under the dome, you need to stop filming things in different shades of black.
Brighten your TV screen a little.
No, it's a computer screen. It's not even like, I'm like really this close to it and I can't understand what's happening.
Okay.
So I saw like a glowing hand, and I was like, does this parallel the like egg hole that Melanie was pushed into?
It was the red door. But it could also be the locker. Maybe it's like a way to connect the locker.
Yes, maybe it's a way to a passage, a connection.
Without having to fall down the hole of doom. Maybe there's another way. But then we can't forget to talk about the four hands with the egg.
Yes, but I just want to finish up this Barbie section of the story because we find
I'm jumping around.
That's okay. So this billboard, we find out it's Dome Day 17, and what was interesting is on the internet, it looked like here in LA, we have a lot of like video billboards where you'll see things, you can change them because it's a video feed. So you'll see a lot of different advertisements changing daily because it's a video feed.
They're pretty...
Now, that looks like an actual billboard. So I'm like, does somebody every day post up a new sign that says Dome Day blah? And then what are the updates? Are they, nothing is happening, the dome hasn't come down, we can't contact or hear the people inside still? Like, what are those? Because it was like, go here for updates. And I'm like, what kind of updates you guys going to have?
But maybe there's a website with updates.
That is true.
And so that might have been connected to that. I don't know.
That is true. And just randomly, we saw somebody wiping the spray paint of the hands of Diana. The Hounds of Diana, the link that Junior got to his mom. That in the previous episode when they got that flash of the internet.
Yes.
Where he got the video from the Hounds of Diana. So
the Hounds of Diana, what is that?
We don't know.
Okay.
I mean, you can go on CBS.
Okay, should I know what that is? All right.
No, but you can go on CBS and get information from the Hounds of Diana website. They've set it up. But we still don't know exactly what it means here. And I've said before on the show that, like, I feel like Diana, like, maybe because Diana is the goddess of the hunt, maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know.
Oh, very interesting. The goddess of the hunt.
The goddess of the hunt. And so, we know that Barbee is going to try now and get close to Julia, and we know that the four hands are going to try and make some sort of move with Rebecca and Julia because they see Zenith and they finally get an idea of what is on the other side.
Yes, because in the video they saw the obelisk.
Yes.
In the distance, and then they bring the egg. Melanie brings the egg in her purse in the locker of doom, and you know they touch the, or is she just holding it, or do they touch it? I think she was just holding it.
I think she was just holding it.
And the egg reacted to being there.
Yes.
It glowed pink, then black, then it like exploded in pink stars, and it painted the picture of the obelisk of Zenith.
Yes.
So then they were like, maybe Barbie's not dead.
Exactly. And then and lastly, Big Jim, in a move we don't expect from him, he has a memorial service.
At the Sweetbriar Rose. I can't get the name out.
Was that the church or the Sweetbriar?
I
can't tell the difference.
I thought it was the restaurant, but I could have been wrong.
Well, either way, he has a memorial service, and Rebecca goes up to basically ask him what's going on.
Yeah,
and
what are you doing?
He's basically saying that he felt that he needed to do this. He needed to do this for the town, and he actually did like and respect Barbee. And he
doesn't mention that Sam is gone.
Yes, no, he doesn't.
No mention of that. Just Barbee.
And he didn't tell Julia because he felt that the people needed this. And it's interesting because we're trying to figure out if this is like a nice move for Big Jim, like, oh, Big Jim, now that he's Dome Jesus, he's being nice to the people, or if this is just like secretly going to be malicious,
or if he just wants the attention on him again, like Big Jim did this big nice thing for us,
right?
Maybe Big Jim likes being under the dome more than we think. He
Maybe
likes
he
being in charge of this little land.
So, really quickly, I just want to give a shout out to our, before we move into the predictions. I don't have anything else before we move into predictions, do you?
The only thing I wanted to say was I loved this episode so much, and so much happened that we were waiting to happen.
I did. We were waiting for something to happen, and all the things happened.
We're so excited.
Yes, I was very excited.
All
all the things.
And what's next Monday going to bring us? I don't know. Okay, I'm ready for your.
But they set up a lot of pathways that we can go down, which was very exciting.
Literal,
so my shout outs,
figuratively.
My shout outs for iTunes, Iron Golem, Buzz59, The Cape Man, and Baltimore Peggy. Thank you for your comments. They all said they're enjoying this podcast. Some of them are enjoying it better than the actual show.
Woo!
And then my YouTube shout outs, Tanya. Some of these names, if I butcher them, I'm sorry. Jamaricadane. If I don't know how I'm saying that wrong, I probably am, and I apologize deeply, and Pink Rick 101 Chick, and Nicholas. Thank you guys for commenting. I try to comment back to people. I have a harder time doing it on iTunes because it's not interactive, but please rate us that 5 stars, please. Or, you know, comment and everything.
We like the comments.
We love the comments. We love interacting with you guys, and tweet us too. And I also found out, I don't know if we already mentioned this, but Brian K. Vaughan actually left Under the Dome before season 2. And it's interesting to me because this episode felt very much like an episode of Lost.
Ooh,
and
yes.
I was like, oh, this is so Lost-like. And then I was like, but the Lost guy isn't here. So interesting. So now we move into predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
So what do you think is going to happen? They put all the chess pieces in place.
So I definitely think that red door is going to come into play. If not this next episode, then the one after. There has to be some sort of connection between that door and the dome. The other thing is, Pauline mentioned that she thought the dome would go where she went. That's why she escaped. So, does the dome stay where it is? Will it move? If the people feel they escaped the dome, will it suddenly appear over Zenith? This is what I'm wondering about.
And what I want to know is how they're going to solve, because Neil Baer, when we interviewed him, said that they are not going to take the dome down until the final episode. So this makes me wonder, now that you have this avenue for people to leave the dome, what are you going to do? Because we know that they now know that Zenith is probably on the other side. So is that portal just open and people can come and go and leave the dome as they please? Are they going to tell the whole town that this exists? Or is this going to shut up and close down like it mysteriously appeared?
Oh, so it might not be permanently there.
Yes, I'm very curious about this, and I'm curious to see how the writers deal with this, because when you open a portal, you basically are solving the problem of having people stuck under a dome. So how do you keep some of those people still under the dome and keep that tension?
Perhaps Melanie was brought there to lead them out of the dome.
Maybe,
That's
like the Pied Piper.
Yes.
But see, we don't have any conflict if nobody's under the dome. So I'm wondering how they're gonna set it up where some people are still stuck there.
Maybe somehow there's a fight and people won't let other people leave the dome for some reason.
Or maybe the dome lifts up and moves to being over Zenith.
That's what I'm saying.
That would be awesome.
Well, not for them, but they think they're out and they're not.
Well, that's all I have. Do you have anything else?
I don't have anything else. I'm looking forward to next week. This episode was incredible. I'm really excited to see what happens. And
I am
I can't
too.
even talk. I'm so excited.
I am too. You can find me at 123Jackie_B on Twitter, at 123JackieB on Instagram, all one word. Where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at The Runway Queen, and I am recapping Project Runway Thursday nights here at AfterBuzz.
Oh, I'm also recapping The Strain on Sunday nights, so tune in for those
Strain.
other shows as well.
Yes.
Thanks, you guys, for listening.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.